Hello. When it comes to nutrition, humans nowadays are often keenly aware of what we're putting into our bodies, as we understand there are consequences for what we eat. However, when it comes to the same concept in ecological processes, we often forget how important these basic tenets are and how they relate to bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation is the process in which these harmful effects of a trace amount of a substance can become magnified when consumed en masse at a rate of consumption greater than the rate of excretion. It's a very simple concept that is often overlooked, but together we will go over how it works, what forms that it takes in our local ecosystems utilizing an example of the marine habitat, and also look at a historical cautionary tale of the consequences when they're ignored. In order to understand this term, we need to look at a condensed version of how the food system works. The basics of the food web will be a refresher for most, but it will be the most important concept in understanding how bioaccumulation works. At the bottom, we have the primary consumer who feeds on the vegetation and plant life for their energy. In the marine example, this is the krill. Next up, we have the secondary or intermediate consumer, in this case, the Chinook salmon, who feed upon the primary consumer for their energy. And finally, at the top, we have the apex predators, those who have no natural predators themselves. In this case, this will be the orca whale. This will be important as we explore how this works with bioaccumulation. In our waterways of the Puget Sound, we have trace amounts of hazardous chemicals known as forever chemicals. These man-made chemicals are known as such as their half-life is longer than the life of the organisms that ingest them. In our example, the krill eat the vegetation that have trace amounts of these chemicals. As the salmon eat the krill, the amount of these chemicals increase with every krill consumed. Ultimately, orcas eat the salmon along with all the chemicals that these salmons have ever eaten by digesting krill. When enough salmon are eventually predated upon, the chemicals in the orca will accumulate to the point of creating health concerns. Looking at a historical sample, we have seen the long-term consequences of bioaccumulation with the chemical DDT. In short, vegetables were sprayed with an anti-mosquito chemical called DDT. This chemical started to accumulate in the insects that ate these vegetables. They grew in the songbirds that ate the insects, and finally came to a head in the hawks who ate these songbirds. Over time, it was discovered that these hawks were laying eggs that were incapable of coming to term due to the chemicals that have accumulated in the hawks themselves, leading to a decline in the population of these hawks, nearly leading to their extinction. In our resident pod of orcas, we already see some of these effects taking place. Listed on this page are noted issues already seen in orca populations. These include, but are not limited to, cancer, neurological problems, population decline, and reproductive issues. If we do not prevent further chemicals entering our waterways, these problems could lead to massive issues with resident orcas. As we can see, bioaccumulation is a very important ecological function to be aware of moving forward, and I hope that we are able to take steps to prevent it in every ecosystem. Remember, you are what you eat. Thank you for your time.